Mesdames, messieurs, si je vous ai fait venir en urgence, c'est que nous avons un énorme problème. Nous avons plus de 60 tonnes de déchets toxiques sur les bras. De l'acétone, du cadmium, de l'ammoniac. Il faut absolument trouver une solution pour nous en débarrasser, et vite. J'attends vos propositions.
On peut pas les envoyer dans une usine de retraitement?
Non, trop cher.
Faut faire comme la dernière fois, on achète un terrain et on les enfouit discrètement.
Non mais c'est fini cette époque, on aura les écolos sur le dos en moins de 24 heures.
What? Hey everybody, Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard here, back with another indie movie review. We're not really indie, this is like, well, I had to go to my independent theater to see it, but it's a smaller movie. Colette. What I like, what I dislike, let's get right into it. Colette is brought to us by English director Wash Westmoreland, whose most recent work, Still Alice, has been critically acclaimed and praised. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard it's fantastic. So he's continuing on with his next role. So the plot of this movie is, it is the incredibly true story of Sadine Gabrielle Colette, who wrote the Claudine novels back in the turn of the 19th century, or 20th century? I don't know, in the 1900s. However that works. It's the early 1900s. And these were like the toast of the town. If you didn't know, because I didn't know, these books were like a big deal in that time, and they're still kind of seen as classic French literature. And she was writing them as a ghostwriter for her husband, and they became bigger than anything he's done before, and the problems within that. But yeah, it's basically her life story. So let's talk about the characters. The biggest main thing and my biggest worry about this movie, the lead character, Colette, played by Keira Knightley. So I usually hate Keira Knightley. She talks through her teeth. She has a really bad underbite that she seems to pronounce more when she's talking. And even though she is British, her British accent is usually really bad, which makes no sense. She's got a bad British accent, but that's just her voice. How's that work?
Like pain. Try wearing a corset.
But, she is actually really great in this. She just falls right into this character, and you stop seeing Keira Knightley and just start seeing Colette. And that is fantastic. This is her best role she's ever done. It was fantastic. I really loved what she did in this. No complaints. Again, she was just so solid in this movie. And so, yeah, well done, Keira Knightley. You get a free pass. And then we have Colette's husband, Willie, played by Dominic West, who I know as playing Jigsaw in Punisher Warzone.
Just when I think I'm okay, I see my reflection somewhere, and I look horrible. What has he done to me?
No, don't cry.
Yeah, that same guy's in this. Surprising, yet unsurprising, because I thought he was actually fantastic in that role, and he is fantastic as Willie. He's just this, like, kind of sympathetic scumbag. And again, you don't see the actor anymore, you're just seeing the character. And it was really well done. He really got into this role. And he's part, like, he's been formed by the society he's part of, and it's the time that he's in, but also you can't always forgive all the things he did, and it's just really well framed, and what he does with this character is amazing. So what worked well about Colette? Well, as you can probably gather, the acting in this is fantastic. What was done with all the characters is amazing in this, and it looks perfect. It's a period piece, obviously, but everything fits well. Everything looks perfect. Everyone feels like they're acting in the correct time frame, and that's amazing. And again, everyone really got into these characters. You're not really seeing the actors anymore. You're seeing the characters, and that was fantastic. Everyone killed it, and I loved all the acting done in this. It's amazing. So another worry I had about this movie outside of Keira Knightley is that it was going to go into Lifetime material. Basically, you know, her husband, because I knew nothing of this story. I didn't know who this person was, so I didn't have any prior knowledge of her story and what was going on. So I was a little worried it's going to go into the range of like, he's a drunk and a abuser, and there'll probably be like a rape scene, and she's going to be such this beaten down, sad woman, and she's just going to write these novels to save herself and get out, and that very standard Lifetime story of, basically the only bad thing your husband could ever do to you is be, an abuser. And like everything else, there's nothing else a husband can do bad to you except beat you. Like that's his only bad thing. At least according to Lifetime and a lot of movies I've seen like that. Untrue, and this movie definitely proves it. Willie is not a drunken abuser, but he is still a piece of shit. Like, he is still a bad husband and a bad person, but he also isn't physically bad. He's emotionally manipulative. He, works a room, is kind of like a salesman in that, like, scummy kind of way. Like, he's not a good person, but he is a person. He's not this cartoonish, crazy guy. He's believable, and this story seems real. And Colette herself isn't just this downtrodden, beaten woman that's gonna find her way. No, like, she is this strong, independent woman, and you see her growth from this farm girl into stop putting up with Willie's shit and becoming a stronger person, but not necessarily once she gets away from Willie, while she's with Willie. And it makes this strong, awesome, character development and pushes this movie. So it doesn't just become this cheesy Lifetime movie. It is actually a character study and a realistic look at this person's life, at least from what I can gather. The other thing I really liked is this really showed alternative lifestyles in the 1900s. The gays, lesbians, and even polyamory people were represented in this movie. And that was France at this time, was very open and, more open than America will ever be. But it was very open and free, and, women, people took on multiple lovers at the time, even though they're married, and it showed this lifestyle and showed how it works within this marriage. And it was very interesting to see that, and a very cool look into that, and I like that a lot. It didn't pull any punches. It really showed that lifestyle, and I think that was really well done. But no movie is perfect. Where does Colette fall short? So big pet peeve of mine, and I think I said it in my Red Sparrow review, is that when a movie takes place in another country, people should be speaking that country's language. And this is not in French at all. And I double checked because, like I said, I don't know anything about this person. So I looked it up to see if maybe she was born in England and moved to France, because that would make more sense with how they framed it. But nope, she born in France, lived in France her whole life. She is French, and it's a bit of a French icon. These are French, very well-known French books, and she's even buried in one of the more famous French cemeteries. Like, she was a famous French author, and nobody spoke French in this movie whatsoever. And it was even more annoying because they took the time to make all the posters and all the writing and everything in French, except everyone speaking. And then they didn't even do a French accent to go, I'm so French. No, everyone was a Brit. Everyone had British accents. Like, well, we can't do it in French, so British, because foreign and fancy. Because, when you're foreign in France, you speak British. And that's how you know you're fancy, governor. And so, yeah, that was really annoying to me. This movie really should have been in French.
Bonjour! You cheese-eating surrender monkeys!
And I know it's a hard sell to American audiences to have all subtitles, but it's a movie about a French author that grew up in France. It's a French movie. It should have been in French. That is a huge pet peeve of mine through pretty much the entirety of the movie. And then, yeah, it's that extra spicing of everything else is in French, too, but just not that. It's kind of like that Kirsten Dunst one where she played a queen. I really felt that should have been in French, too. But, yeah, we're not going to do that. So, any other complaints for this movie would be more of just this style of movie. It's very slow, it's talkative, it's character-driven. It's not going to have a big explosion, there's no big fight scenes, and there's no links to comic movies. Which, yeah, I mean, the cinematic universe of Colette should be expanded upon a lot more. I was really waiting for an after-credits scene of Nick Fury bringing her into the Avengers. That didn't happen. But yes, so this type of movie, you have to know what you're getting into. It's a character-driven piece. It is not, a big explosion-y movie. So if that's not your bag, this isn't going to be your bag. But if you like a character movie, there you go. Since this is a biopic about a person, there's really no spoilers because she was like in her 20s in the 1900s. She dead. We kind of know what happens. It doesn't take a lot of research to figure it out, so there's really no spoilers. So let's just go ahead and wrap this up. This is a very interesting look at a person's life, and I knew nothing of her, and I thought what they painted was very interesting and made me want to go look her up a little bit more. So to compare it to a movie I just saw that was another biopic, First Man, this is a much smaller, character-driven movie, I think, and seemed a bit more interesting, I think, than First Man, but it's a lot slower than First Man. It's very much you have to love and want these enjoy these characters. So that would be the comparison. It's not a person that many Americans would know about. At least I knew nothing of her, and I found it very entertaining and also very accessible for an American to kind of get into. Granted, I just made that whole complaint that it wasn't in French, and that would make it less accessible. But what can you do? But yes, it's very entertaining, and I enjoyed it a lot. All the characters were just well played in this and very fantastic. So I got to give it a rating of see it in theaters. If this is something near you and around you, you should check it out. It was something I really enjoyed getting out of my comfort zone and seeing. Like I said, it's not a comic movie. It's not a big explosion movie. It is a very small, character piece. And I enjoyed seeing it, and I would love to see it again. It's something you should definitely check out, and I wholeheartedly enjoyed. So, if you did actually see Colette, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you could. If I get 1,000 thumbs up, I will do an entire episode in French. And if you could, share this video around, because I believe this movie is going to need some help getting the word out, as well as my channel needs some help getting the word out as well. So I'm Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. Until next time, hold on to your hold slots.
Yeah!